For more on what we can expect on election night and the days after, let's bring in our international affairs editor, Rob Parsons. Rob, I want to start first, though, talking a little bit more about these incidents of Trump voters using cars to disrupt traffic. What do you believe is pushing Trump supporters to do this?
Well, as Joe Biden said, these events, these images are really, truly extraordinary. It makes you wonder how far things can yet go in the United States before things really do boil over. I mean, I guess what's going on was seen by Trump's crisscrossing states over the last couple of days. He's doing his utmost to get his vote out. He knows he's behind in the polls nationally and in many of the states as well. And he has to get the turnout. He needs to get as many of his supporters out as possible. So he's trying to get that sort of fever pitch moment where his supporters will get out and vote, regardless of the costs. And what we've seen is truly extraordinary. You mentioned not just in Texas, but elsewhere in the United States as well. And Donald Trump not doing a thing to condemn it, but saying instead on Twitter, "I love Texas." And then in response to the FBI statement that they're investigating it, that they did nothing wrong. Given the already febrile atmosphere in the United States, because of racial tensions in many cities, but also with coronavirus and the stress that has put on people over the last few months since the beginning of this year, it really does make this one of the most tense U.S. elections in history.
Right. The months leading up to this election has also been a boon for gun sales in the U.S., which is a signal of how nervous people are. Rob, let's zoom out and look at what the polls are saying nationally and in swing states at this point. Of course, after 2016, a lot of people are wary of believing polls too much. But what are they signaling?
Well, the thing about the polls this time round, and what is different from the last time round, the lead was changing all the time. It was crisscrossing backwards and forwards. This time round, at least for several months now, Joe Biden has had pretty much a consistent lead over Donald Trump, both nationally and in the states. At the moment, his national lead is around about 8.5%. It's been a little bit higher than that at times, a little bit lower than that at times, but it's been pretty consistent nationally. Statewide, it's a bit different. It's a bit lower. But in some of the key areas where Biden really has to do well to beat Trump, he's still doing pretty well. If you look at states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, where Trump won last time round, Biden is ahead. Pennsylvania, absolutely critical, I would say, for Biden in this election. He really does need to win. He could lose it and still go on to win, but it's still very important for him. He's got a lead there between 5 and 7 percentage points. For Donald Trump, Florida is absolutely critical, which is why he's been giving so much attention to it. He's down a little bit. He won there the last time. If he loses in Florida, he really is, as some of the pundits have been putting it, toast. Very difficult for him to come back from that. A lot will depend on whether there is a high turnout. And all the signs at the moment are that this could be a record turnout in U.S. electoral history. Already, 92 million people have voted early, either by voting in person or through mail-in voting. That's 67 percentage points of the total vote in 2016. So it is enormous. And the signs are that the more people vote, the more likely the Democrats will do well. If you look at Pennsylvania, for instance, on a high turnout, it looks like Biden has a 7-point lead. On a low turnout, 5 percentage point leads. Democrats are desperate to try and get their voters out.
If history is any guide, we can't fully predict, of course, with Florida and Pennsylvania, known for their fickle voters. International Affairs editor Rob Parsons.